So I did promise some of you a tour of Minecrafters Academy. For those of you who I haven't talked to about Minecrafters Academy, it is obviously a academy for Minecrafters, but it's way more than that. It's something that really fun that I decided to do with my friends, and I always wanted to do something like this. I've always wanted to. I don't know. I read a series that had Minecrafters Academy in it, and that sparked the idea for it. So that's where my idea for Minecrafters Academy came from, and I decided, you know what, I should make an academy for me and my friends, have a little fun with it. Writing all the curriculum and all that really makes stuff stick in your head a little bit more. But yeah, so that's what sparked Minecrafters Academy, and I need to stop moving my cursor. But before we get started on this tour and, explaining all of Minecraft Academy and all of that, I do want to introduce you guys to my sword, Riptide. I named this Riptide. Some of you may know I'm a Percy Jackson fan. I named it after Percy's sword. So, yeah. My spear, unfortunately, does not have a name yet, but I'm still trying to come up with a name for it, trying to find a good ocean name for it. I have a lot of good ocean names, I just haven't, I'm stuck between all of them, and, I can only have one name for it, so, yeah. Now, some of the things in my inventory are a bit newer, as of this year, due to the updates, the major updates, with the copper weapons and armor, the spear thingy. Those are new additions to my life here at Minecrafters Academy. Because back then, when we did Minecrafters Academy, we didn't have all of these nice, cool update stuff. I mean, we did have the axolotls, which was a pretty cool update, all that kind of stuff. But we didn't have this kind of stuff. If y'all know what I mean by stuff, Minecrafters will know what I mean by the stuff. Literally the newer updates. We did not have any of that fancy, all that. No, we didn't have that. So we had to deal with literally the same old diamond sword, which is not bad, actually. But it's still pretty cool to have a copper sword in your inventory, because you never thought we would actually have another, kind of sword like that. I thought it was just going to be the same old types of minerals for the swords. But yeah, and don't mind the 50 million weapons I have in my inventory. It just likes to be double prepared. And also my friend's stuff likes to break, and they don't pay attention to durability, so I'm stuck with a million swords in my inventory. So yeah, and it is turning into night, and I want to do this in the daylight, so where is the time? Day. There we go. Sorry. Now, enough of my rambling. So we are going to jump right into the tour. Alright, hi. No, I want some bacon. There we go. Too bad it gave me pork chops and not bacon. Alright, so here we go. This is our, obviously, it says on the side, Welcome Center. I decided a lot of buildings here actually are made with glazed terracotta, because that's some of my favorite building blocks to use, and I think it's really decorative, so I decided to use them, and I think the blue and the green really go well together. It gives off ocean vibes, and as some of you may know, I am really into ocean type of things, and I will say this, and I'll say this many other times. If I were in Percy Jackson, I would most likely be Poseidon's daughter. I'm just basing off the facts right there. Alright. And here you'll have all of your welcome type things, all the stuff you'll get, all the armor you'll get, all the weapons and stuff you'll get when you first come into Minecrafters Academy, so you at least have a weapon or something. Now, I know in the real world survival, you start off with nothing, but in the Academy, when you're learning, it's kind of, I didn't want to start everyone off with nothing. I mean, I did kind of want to start it off with that, but my friend, we kind of disagreed on that, so I decided to set this up. But I know I wanted this to be more of a thing that we would actually learn from. Kids go out and get their weapons regularly, like they would in regular survival mode. But I did not win that argument. So I made the welcome center, and yeah, and here you'll find your brochure, or sorry, not brochures, your maps. And I made a bunch of maps of the academy. It does not show all the academy, unfortunately. It only shows parts of it, which, I mean, it's probably good enough because it has the main building on there. So as long as it's got that on there, I'm not too awfully concerned. But then again, the campus is not that large. You can almost see everything just flying like over the main building. But it is a little spread out, but not by much. Alright, so let's get into... And I just changed the weather back. Come on, y'all. You couldn't wait till after the tour. Okay, I'm just gonna... There we go. I found that Zeus does not like me very much, so he likes to choose the most inopportune times to rain down lightning and thunder on the campus. But yeah. Here is the main building, and you can see how off-center the top is. But yeah, gosh, that is really off-center. That's bothering me. But it's too late now. But when you're building something that big, it was a bit difficult to really get the center. I don't know. I feel like we centered it, but at the same time we didn't. It's fine. So over there is our food court. Over here, obviously, is main building. It's the biggest building of all, with all the classrooms in it. There's a fountain in the front. Now the windows we did sort of center. You have all of our, I call them, what do you call those? Minecart systems around the campus. I decided to make those since some of my friends were a bit new to Minecraft, and it took them 60,000 years to walk from point A to point B. So I told them just to get in the cart and be on their merry way to class, because they wouldn't stop picking flowers. So, it's pretty annoying when you're trying to get to class. But over here is like shopping, or where you get some of your materials or whatever you may need, furniture, you name it. It was probably most likely in there. If I would have listed everything in there, it would have taken me 6 years to put that in there, and it would take me a lot more space to build over there. But I'm also tearing down that shopping place, and you'll see that when I get closer, because it glitches a lot over there because the buildings are mingling. So yeah, that's the dormitory. I'm still gonna keep like these are the two pet shops. That's the barn with all the farm animals. That's where all the inside pets / sea animals go. I'm not gonna tear those down. I'm tearing that over there down. And there's 2 shops over there that I already tore down that you guys cannot see. Over here you have our slam block system. I call it my Skyrail system. You know, it gets point A to point B faster, but apparently not on slime it doesn't. I figured out that in slime it goes actually slower, but it's mostly there for decoration now. So that is there, and over here you will have our nice lovely axolotl pond, and as you can see, they're not running away. You want to know why? Bam, barrier blocks. I also had the barrier blocks in here and a couple other items in my inventory because I was fixing little errors. And these right here, I was going to have a whole barrier around the campus, but then I thought, you know what, we're training to fight the mobs. We shouldn't put barriers around the whole campus when we're trying to learn how to fight them. We need to fight them. That's what went through my head, so I kind of stopped that. I mean, they're barrier blocks, you can't really see them, so there's no point in trying to tear them all down. Unless they're physically in the way, but which some of them are. Some of them aren't, some of them are. And then those ones that are in the way are way over there. I'll show you guys those ones later. I think we should go do the food court first. And here you can see we have a lot of red going on. I thought that would be a really cool color for the food court. I don't know why, I was just thinking nether vibes when I was building this. Now, one thing I will say is my friends did help me with part of Minecraft Academy. I did do most of it myself, but there are parts where they did come in and help, and I'll show you guys those parts when we get to them. The food court, I did all on my own. because I had a lot of spare time back then. I didn't have any channel, I used to read books like crazy, like really fast. And aside from that, I didn't really do much of anything. Just I was bored half the time. So yeah, I did a lot with my spare time, especially with Minecraft. So this is the food court. You can literally just walk up to any of these, press the lever or button or whatever it's called, and voila, you got your food. And of course in here it's just like the kitchens with furnaces. I didn't do much for the kitchen because obviously we wouldn't be going back there very much unless, I don't know. Well, the chicken out here I'm pretty sure is already cooked, so we wouldn't have needed to go back there to the furnaces anyway. That's just mostly for a show. So yeah, that's the food court. Out here you may see a lot of these redstone lantern thingy-mabobbies. All of them have the daylight sensors on them. I decided to do that so when it turns night, they'll all turn on, and hopefully it'll turn night while I'm doing this tour for you guys, so you'll be able to see them. Oh, and that's the map. It's just part of the main building, and where the dormitories are, so I wasn't too awfully concerned that it didn't show the parkour building, which, in my opinion, is the best building of all, because you'll just have to see it for yourselves. I did the parkour building all on my own, and I crashed out at the end. I crashed out. I'm like, no, I gotta finish this today. That's what I was thinking about when I did that. So I pushed through it. No, but seriously, when you guys see the parkour building, it was rough. It was rough. I'm just gonna say that. No, every time I come past the bells, I always annoy my friends whenever I walk past it. But we do that to each other to annoy each other. But yeah, I'm gonna show you guys around the classrooms, and then we'll go to the dormitories, and then from there we'll go to that part of the campus. All right, so this is the downstairs of the main building. You don't really have any classrooms down here. You have the library. You have a place out here where students can sit and talk and whatnot. In the library, I did use some of the newer bookshelves that you can place books wherever you want, just to make it look, cooler. And I didn't finish putting books in there because, not gonna lie, I was kind of tired of placing books after a while. But yeah, this is pretty much the library. In here, you'll find a hallway that leads to the principal should be in here. I put a villager in here. It's been a while. They probably died of old age or something. I don't know. I don't even know anymore. My villagers just disappear. Alright, I'm going to take you guys this way. Oh my gosh. Hey, Zeus, pipe it down out there. Okay, sorry. My uncle does not like me very much. And by uncle, I mean Zeus. But you guys can see the redstone lanterns lit up. So yeah. And why it has to keep raining, oh my gosh. By the way, my friends did help me make part of this main building. My friend actually did the stairs all on her own, which I am very proud of how she did the stairs. Because I'm not good with stairs like that. We're gonna go over here. Alright, and here we have our hunting classroom, where we basically learn how to hunt things, the hunting was actually kind of one of those filler classes, because I wanted everyone to have like a good option, like a good variety of options, because we each agreed on having at least 8 classes. And of course we did this mostly during the summertime when we did this, or tried to do it during the summertime. Half of it was during we were finishing school, but it didn't bother us as much because we mostly got together on like the weekends, and it was fun. We even sometimes did 5 days worth of work on the weekends, just for fun though, because as long as the classes were fun, then it didn't really matter about doing 5 days worth of school for Minecrafters Academy on the weekends. So this is one of the filler classes that I needed a classroom to be taken up, so I chose hunting to take up this classroom because we made a good amount of classrooms and we needed, extra classes. So, yeah. This is our Cooking Classics classroom, and here you'll find everything that, like, all the recipes to make everything. Every one of these chests has what you need to make that particular item. Basically, Cooking Classics was sort of a filler class, but at the same time, you actually learn stuff from it, like how to make different things in Minecraft World, so you don't have to constantly run to a crafting table or go to a tree and cut down some logs and make a crafting table in order to figure out what you need during that journey. It's just another fun thing to do. And like filler classes like cooking and hunting don't honestly take that long. And there goes Zeus striking again. I often like to say that in Minecraft whenever a storm hits. And there goes Zeus striking again. But yeah, especially when it strikes a tree and that tree sets fire. It sets fire to the tree, and it's right next to my house, and my house catches fire. Oh gosh, that actually happened one time. I'm not gonna explain it here because I will be here for centuries, crying because my house burnt down. But here we are at our Command Classics classroom. There we go. This is basically a class on commands. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. This is one of my favorite classes, but I wasn't good at it, if that makes sense. Contain yourself. Okay. Every time the lightning strikes, I'm like, I hope that's not a part of my campus being burnt to the ground. Just gotta take precautions. But this class, not gonna lie, was kind of like a Minecraft Academy version of math, or the hardcore kind of math, like calculus. That was basically what this class was, because some of the commands aren't easy to, really learn, and sometimes you could be doing it wrong, and you're like, it's not working, and most because you're doing it wrong. And that was me half the time. And I just never got some of these commands, and I mean, there were a lot of commands I didn't even learn from the books, and even now, I'm still searching for how do you do the commands, but I know some of the simplest commands, like how to summon things, how to give yourself 255 heart, strength, that kind of thing. How to be able to kill things with one hit, all those things, and even some of the more complicated ones I knew how to do. It's just some of the commands like that make a bridge that's standing up come down so you can get into the kingdom, and then make it go back up again so no one can cross the river to get to your kingdom. Those kinds of things. I never got the grasp on those, but I plan on taking Command Classics again. Hopefully, maybe I can ace it next time. Now, our next classroom is Travel Techniques, and again, another filler class. And I was trying to figure out what other classes to do, and this is all the different ways you can travel. Of course, with the new updates, there's probably another couple ways to travel. I just haven't dug too deep into the new updates. All I saw were certain things like the spears, and I'm gonna go on ahead and try to make one now. And so yeah, that is. Oh, okay, I thought this was just random block sitting in the middle of the room. So yeah, that's Travel Techniques, and there's not much to add to it. It's just all the different ways you can travel, like when you're doing pure hardcore survival or even regular survival mode. So you'll know different ways to get around faster if you ever have to get around faster. Alright, in here we just have our bathrooms, nothing fancy, just literally that. And here we have our arts classroom, which has, of course, music. We have a couple podiums right here. We have pottery. We have banners, all those sorts of things. what I learned from the Redstone class was that if you put note blocks on certain things, it'll make a certain sound. Like if you put them on certain blocks, like this one. It all makes a different sound. So that's something unique I learned. So I decided to use it in the classroom. Because I'm the only one who did all of the curriculum on my own. It took me quite a while, but I finished it. I got it all done. And this is one thing I did learn from the Redstone book when I was writing that curriculum and writing like all the exercises we would do. And yeah, you're probably wondering how I managed to do the work on my own if I was the one doing all the curriculum, but I did manage it. As some of you may know, I don't have the best of memories. Some of the stuff I did forget, and I didn't actually write the answer keys because I wanted to just go in the book and be able to check it, so I didn't want to have all the answers and know all the answers right away. I used to have, like, when I was, like, younger, I used to have, like, almost photographic memory. I don't. But I don't know if that changed as I got older, but I used to have, like, good memory like that. And so that's why when I was doing Minecraft Academy, I did not do an answer key because I just didn't want to know all the answers. Here is the history of Minecraft, where we learn, how it got started, all of that. There weren't too many books. I mean, there were probably books out that had the history of Minecraft, but I never had any back then, because every time I went to the nearest Books A Million or Barnes & Noble, all I could find were, like, the different, like, guides to creative, guides to survival mode, those kinds of books, and, of course, the Minecraft short story type books. I could never find one with just the history of Minecraft for some reason, and now with the Minecraft movie and all of that out, I can suddenly find them. So I do have those history of Minecraft books now after the fact of Minecraft Academy. So what I did was I looked up facts about Minecraft on the internet and found some pretty amazing facts to put into writing in the curriculum, and that's what I did. So here's the classroom. There's a map over there. Because I kind of tied geography into this, into history. So it's a pretty dysfunctional map, but it's a map nonetheless. And it's storming again. I swear, this world is just... It storms a lot here, apparently. Alright. I can't risk my academy getting blown to threads. But, yeah, and you'll see what this is later. Whenever I'm not even going to tell you what it is until I go over it. You'll probably connect the dots. Maybe. It depends. Here is our Scenarios 101 classroom. Again, another filler class. In fact, history was probably just a filler. I'm not sure how much of a filler it would be, because I don't know, you don't need to know the history of Minecraft in order to play Minecraft. So, I don't know. But... I mean, how is the history of Minecraft gonna help you in a survival situation? But, so yeah, it's probably in a filler class. I guess I call it filler class. But anyway, to Scenarios 101. So this is mostly all the scenarios you can ever think of in Minecraft. Teaches you what to do in these scenarios, how to react quickly so you don't, splat and die. Like go splat at the bottom of the cave, or, all those kinds of things, how to react quickly. Now, there are some situations where you wouldn't be able to act quickly because it just happens so fast and there's no way you can act quickly to avoid it. Like falling into lava and you don't have anything that can stop it, like a bucket of water or anything like that. But there are some scenarios where there is a way out of it. And even in some fighting scenarios when you're being bombarded by mobs, obviously if you're alone and you don't have knockback or something like that, you're gonna most likely die. I'm sorry, I'm just basing facts. You're most likely gonna die. Unless you're Technoblade or somebody. But you're most likely gonna die. So if you don't have those fighting skills to be able to fight them off, and you don't want to be stupid and try to fight them off when you know you're probably gonna die, and you don't keep inventory on, the best thing to do is try to find an out. try to find an out wherever you go, wherever there's mobs. Try to find an out before you get in that situation. Now, granted, the mobs, they move, so it was kind of hard to determine a good out, but have a good way out of the cave so you can literally, even if you have to push through mobs and still get hit, at least you're running, like, try to run away from them before, you die. So that's something I learned in scenarios, like, try to find an out in every situation, even if like I said before, the mobs move, and it's kind of difficult to determine where the out would be. Just at least try to find a way. Up here we have our cooler classes. All the ones, most of these classes up here are what matters most in Minecraft. That's why I put them at the top level. Like all the survival skills, because even like command classics, cooking, hunting, that stuff is not it's not as useful as learning how to fight, learning how learning how redstone works, because sometimes you want to booby trap your house, but you don't have the skills or knowledge to be able to do that. So, even if you do, you want to be able to know how to do it correctly, so if something goes wrong, you're like, how do I fix this? You'll know how to fix it. So yeah. I'm going to, and in case you're wondering what these are, so these are the, I didn't think to make greenhouses back then. I don't know why. I just put my gardening class up here on top of all of these classrooms. And my Elytra. Okay. And also, we put these little blocks, like, everywhere up here. When we first built it, all that you saw were a bunch of these blocks just all over the floor before we built the classrooms, because we needed light. And of course, back then we didn't really, I didn't think to use these that we already had ready for the command classroom, like these little light things that you can put down and they won't even be visible, and you can walk through them as well. But I didn't think about that. But anyway, we're in our building basics classroom, and of course it's just exactly what it looks like. We learn all the different ways to build things, and even all the best ways to build furniture in Minecraft to make it look realistic. How to build houses a certain way if you want to make them look modern. Whatever styles of houses you want. We learned how to build certain buildings. This is actually one of my bestie's favorite classes. Is building basics, and oh my gosh, these all took me a century to put in the chests. Oh my god, I talk about major crash out. Now, I think this part I did on my own. I think I did a majority of the decorating. I'm not sure if my friends helped me at all in decorating the classrooms. I think she mostly helped with just the building of the classrooms. But as I was, of course, with it being on my Switch, I was the one doing most of the work with Minecraft Academy. But my friends did pitch in to help every now and then. Of course, they weren't always free. Which is okay. I did enjoy building it, which is a good thing. Because if I didn't, I would have done it. But yeah, very valid crash out moments. I'm just gonna back out of here and go into our Mining 101 classroom, another one of my favorite classes, because I won't get distracted in the mine and be mining down there forever until I die. A very gruesome death over lava and lose all my stuff. Happy moments, y'all. Happy moments. Not really when you lose, but no, I'm joking. It's all fun, happy moments. Except when I lose my diamond sword and the lava. We don't speak about that. Alright. But in here we have all of our mining materials, and as we level up, we will come in here and get a new pickaxe. And it actually the same goes with the battle training class. As we level up, we get newer materials. So yeah, mining class. It's all, about, how to find things in the mine. I was always the diamond expert in the mine. My friend was the iron expert. She could find iron like that. It was all amazing. We teamed up. a lot. And then sometimes we would have valid crash outs and start trying to kill the other one. But most of the time we were on each other's sides. And here we will have our Battle Training 101 classroom. It does connect with Building Basics next door. Which when we were done with Building Basics, we actually had, some of us had Battle Training 101 afterwards, so we just went through that door over there. As you guys can see, here's some of my favorite armor options, just because they're gorgeous. And here we'll have all of our armors and whatnot, like all our shulker boxes of swords and stuff, and yeah. Yeah. We never had, of course, copper swords because back then we didn't have that. Up here is where we would do PvP. Obviously, it's not that much space for PvP. Sometimes we'd occasionally just go onto school grounds and do PvP there. It's because there's not very much fighting space when you think about it. Especially if you are, like, intense fighters like my friends and I. But, yeah. This is Battle Training 101 classroom, aka my favorite class on the whole campus. And actually, there is a part of Battle Training 101 that is not in this classroom. It's where we fight the mobs, learn how to fight the mobs. I'll show you that here in a couple minutes, once we're done with the classrooms and the dorms, and I'll go over there and show you guys that. Over here, we have our Treasure Hunting 101 class. Which is exactly as it sounds. We learn, like, this is mostly about where to find the treasure, what to look for specifically when you're mining. This also can tie into mining, because there are sometimes treasures down there, like dungeons with the spawners inside them. You have the, what do you call it? The underground thingy where you find the end portal. Gosh, I forget the name of it. You have the Nether Fortress, things like those, where you find treasure. And sometimes we all know exactly where to look for them, which hallways to go down. There's certain kind of villager houses that have the really good stuff in the chests. I will sometimes, when I enter a village, I will go straight to the house that has the furnaces and stuff and the lava outside, because I know that's where the iron stuff will be and the really good stuff, you know, emeralds if they have it in that village. I will ignore all the other houses and go straight to those, and my friends are like, what are you doing? I'm pressing up all these houses, and I just don't say a word, like, I'm getting to that treasure first. It's all fun, though. You guys can see, I would hope many other students could get to come into Minecrafters Academy. So I just have student. And we all had like we all chose game names that we would be called by. Mine was Toadette. Yep. I go by Toadette sometimes in Minecrafters Academy, or on the Switch I go by Toadette. Of course, Wings of Fire and everything else I go by Lunafire 15. But yeah, that is this classroom. And then next we have another favorite class of mine, which is the equivalent of science, basically, because it's Redstone 101. You learn how to make things, how to craft all these different really cool booby traps and everything. I do have a couple worlds where I had booby traps and whatnot set up in my houses, but unfortunately that's not this world. Now, there are a couple of contraptions here that I did use redstone with. Well, I'm not sure if you would call them contraptions. It's literally like the redstone lamps outside, all over the campus grounds, and a couple levers here and there with redstone connected to them to open like secret doorways. And that was before I learned how to fully use redstone, because I was building the campus, so I just literally looked up how do you make a redstone like trap door or door that opens up, secret doorway, that kind of thing, because I didn't know how to do it yet. So yeah, this is one of my favorite classes. It's the equivalent of science, except for me, I don't know, it's more interesting than a regular science class. And now there are aspects of science that I do love and I do enjoy, like space. here we are in our alchemy classroom. This is what I call alchemy / enchantments. Now you won't see any, what do you call those things? The things you do the spells with. My mind completely blanks. I'll think of it later. The things where you enchant, like, the swords and all of that with the enchantment books. But this was mostly just alchemy. And I did combine enchantments into that, but enchantments weren't that hard to learn. All I really had to do was go into creative and look at all the enchantments, and then, like, for some of them it wasn't obvious what they could do. Like, some of the enchantment names, I couldn't figure out what they did, so I would look that up, and so it was mostly just alchemy in this class, and it was a lot of going to the nether to gather materials. And that kind of thing. Do I have any materials from that? Oh, I have a potion I made, but not many materials. Yeah, I had a lot of good experiences in the nether with my friends. And our very first day in Minecrafters Academy, we actually went into the nether to gather materials, because obviously to make potions you have to have the one thing that requires you to go to another fortress. I'll like crash out moment. But actually, there is a lever on the opposite side of this portal that when you flip it will take you straight to the nether fortress. I did that so we could have an easy first day, because obviously we can't learn much about the potions if we don't have the one thing that can make the potions, if y'all know what I mean. And I didn't want to go into creative mode and make it easy for us. I wanted it to be a little bit challenging, give the students a bit of a challenge to be able to get there, because it's not just going to be all cupcakes and rainbows and all of that when it comes to actual survival mode, trying to get the materials and ingredients to make the potions, It's not actually going to be that easy in real world Minecraft. So I gave them a little bit of a challenge by sending them to the fortress. So that is that classroom. And I believe we... Yeah, and I believe we did all our classrooms up here. Wow, it's a new record. Up here is the top of the place, and it's raining again. And I don't like it. Alright. Oh, right here we have our little dome. I tried to get the note blocks to like chime at it, like whenever it gets dark and whatnot, but they don't do that apparently. There's daylight sensors on them, but apparently the daylight sensors or whatnot don't work with something like that. I don't know. Up here we have our observatory, where we have a telescope inside a shulker box on each one of these little pedestals. Yeah, I'm checking to make sure my friends put the telescope back in there. I think if I got the Realms membership thingy, I think my friends might be able to play when I'm gone. I'm not entirely sure, but I think that's the reason why I had the Realms open in the first place, so that they could be in here when I'm gone, when I can't play. So this is the main building, and everything. Y'all can tell I'm not very good at doors. There we go. Yeah, I put some stairs right here for those of us who prefer to walk to classes. I always prefer just walk to classes. I mainly had these systems here for those who, would get distracted picking flowers along the way. Or distracted looking at the bunnies that often come through here. Like, there's a bunny right there. And here is the dormitories, and here is like the area where they can all chat and whatnot. I decided to do emerald walls because I thought it looked really pretty. And here we have where everyone can dye their leather outfits, so they can have, make it actually look like we're wearing outfits. like really cool outfits. Like one time dyed a leather armor chest plate. I dyed that purple one time with blue leggings. Yeah, that's that room. And here we have our first room, and as you guys may be able to tell, I designed them depending on who was staying in these rooms, because I knew, you know, the kind of rooms that they would like, and I designed it just like so. And this room is actually connected to this room, so it was supposed to be 2 people staying here, 2 people staying here, but I did put extra beds up there in case we have more people staying in there. And I did put extra shulker boxes so they could all put stuff in there. And then 2 of my friends stayed in here, designed it exactly how they wanted it. For some of them, I even surprised them, and they still loved it. And here we have 5 people staying in here, and their beds are decorated to how they wanted it. Their little areas. Most of them could care less about their areas because they weren't going to be here most of the time. I went a little overboard on my area. I guess because I was the one building it. Now this is something new I put in my dormitory because of newer updates. And, you know, also put like a little banner right there. And up here, of course, I have smithing, my template maker thingy. I have, what is this thing called again? I can't even remember. I have where I store all my stuff. And here I have a couple cats. And I had to hide them because the person that lived all the way over there hates cats, and that's why they're all the way across the room from me. And so I had to hide them down here. Oh my gosh, if I can just get through here. There we go. Hold on. There we go. Hey guys! There is Kibli right there. He's the troublemaker. Moonwatcher right here. There's Mushroom. There's my cat Fufa. Now I actually do have a cat that looks like this cat that is named Fufa. That's what I got the name from. Here is Boots, named after Puss in Boots. Here is Linux. Now majority of these cats are named after Wings of Fire characters like Mushroom, Fufa, or not Fufa, sorry, Moonwatcher, Linux, Kibli, you know. I decided to name all most of my cats after wolf characters because why not? Alright, and I think that concludes the dormitory unless there's an extra, I believe there's an extra room down here. But we didn't do much with this room. We decided to just leave it completely bare in case we have more students coming in, then we could decorate it to tailor it to them, however they liked it, or they can decorate it themselves if they wanted a certain way that we couldn't provide. And it's raining again. Out here is our, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Alright, down here is our swimming pool. And down here, I don't know why, I just felt motivated to put this here. Literally, it may have been so I could trap my friends. But we often pull tricks on each other, so. Of course, down here we have our minecart system that goes down into the mine, so we could do mining 101 class. Over here is our shopping area. This was my alchemy building that I had a bunch of potions that I was selling, and then over here was my friend's armory. And we blew up both buildings because it was getting really glitchy over here. It's still a little bit glitchy. And here we had everything listed in the history of Minecraft. We had all of, like, literally everything. Very valid crash out moments. Gotta give it that. And so here's how the system works. I know we're tearing it down, but I just want to explain how the system works before I do tear it down. So down here are all the items that you can buy. And I put one stack, at least one stack, of that item in every chest. Or shulker box. And then up here was the item you needed in order to get that. So we would do a trading system. One of my friends and I, we were the owners of of all of these shops, really. So we would, because we were the main builders of this place, so we were going to be the ones getting the stuff that our friends would trade with us. So all up here is what you would need to buy those items, depending on how rare they are or like how expensive they would be. It's a real survival world. What we'd have to trade in order to get them. So yeah, that is that. And I didn't blow up much, but I did blow up a good majority of it. It's still a functional shop. I just blew up some of it. Just this part. It just looks like it got a bomb in here. Alright, I'm going to back it up. And here we have all of our pets. I'm not going to showcase this much. I'm just going to show you guys the different levels as I talk. And here we have our cats and dogs. Yeah, basically just cats and dogs. Down here there might be like, oh yeah, there's rabbits over there. Cats, dogs, and rabbits, ocelots. All those animals. And then up here we have more of our parrots, our bumblebees, our bats. And there's a bat that got out, and I'm gonna murder it. And there's 2 bats. You know what? I don't care anymore. I just don't care anymore. And here we have all the certain things these animals might need. Up here we have all of our sea animals, or animals that might require to be near water. And I didn't have any axolotls up here because I already had axolotls in the pond, and those to me were already my babies. So yeah. So all of those axolotls in the pond, at the very front of the campus, those are all mine. In here, we have all of our farm animals, everything. How did the goat get up there? Okay. I'm not even gonna ask questions anymore. Yeah, all our farm animals in here, and, well, wait, hold up a second, how did the camel get, okay, I'm officially off duty for being the zookeeper. And here we have our snifflers, and we have camels, basically the bigger animals that won't harm you. Along here, I have everything you need for different kinds of animals, like the sea animals. I think most of these were actually sea animals. Oh, and up here are the eggs. The eggs to hatch more of these animals in case the ones in here die, that kind of thing. And also what you need to take care of the animals. So whenever you buy the animals from here, you'll get what you need from the chest upstairs. So I am going to do the parkour building now. And yeah, it's a big building. Talk about a valid crash out moment. And this took me 3 days of non-stop working on it to get this built. Actually, it may have been 2. I'm not actually entirely sure. But it took me a while. I did the parkour building all by myself. And I wanted to crash out at the end. This building is actually what almost broke me. When I was doing Minecraft Academy, it almost made me give up to building Minecraft Academy, but then I was like, you know what, I need to just push through it just so I can see the end result. So I pushed through it, and I'm really glad I did now. So I'll just give you guys a good look at the parkour building. All these parkour levels, as you can see, there's a lot of beds. That's where we set our new respawn point. So we don't go back to the dormitory, respawn at the dormitory and have to come all the way back. So that's why I put beds out. And yeah, so that is that. Every time we pass a level, we go on to the next level. Oh, I almost forgot about this over here. And there's a lot of mines near Minecrafters Academy, which is a good thing. This over here is where we would have our Elytra tournaments. Like we would, let me actually show y'all. Actually, I think, and my cat is meowing like crazy. But we'd actually, no, hold on, I can do this, y'all, I can do this. No, okay. Like, that kind of thing. Oh, I failed, that's so bad. But I actually don't even know if I really finished doing this. I was more focused on, you know, getting through Minecrafters Academy. But this is what I had for the Elytra tournaments. Obviously, it would be much harder to do that, and it would be a little bit harder to do that in survival mode without, you know, hurting yourself a little bit. But yeah, I wasn't actually. Oh, I know what I was working on. I was trying to make this an entire dragon, and I wanted to like do the wings and stuff, but I didn't quite get. You know, I didn't get much into it. I was gonna have the full body, but I'm gonna need to maybe flatten out some land before I can do that. I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah. So now that you guys have seen all of this, I'm going to take y'all to where we do our battle training class. Most of it, actually. So battle training was not just PvP. It was a lot of doing mob battles. Right, and I don't believe well, is that car coming to us? Oh, it is. So here we will always ride our minecarts to where the battle training class, the battle training class mostly takes place. As you can see over here, there's a village too. Don't worry, I already looted it during Treasure Hunting 101. Oh, we gotta push through these two cars. Alright, mostly at this point I'll just walk the rest of the way. I always had a bunch of carts going at the same time, so we would always have a cart coming back to us. So here is our battle training, basically where it all takes place. Over here we will have a bed to set our respawn point at, just because when we're fighting mobs, we don't ever know for especially in battle training, we don't know if we're going to be dying during that battle. You may wonder why, I mean, you may even really know why there's bedrock mostly. It's because some certain mobs like to blow stuff up. I don't want them to blow this up. So yeah, you may know who I'm talking about. Mr. Creeper. So I'm just gonna briefly take you guys to each of the where all the hallways are with the different mobs, or the different levels of mobs. And the very last level of this is Mr. Warden. Down there. That's the very last level of this. Now, the ultimate last level was the Ender Dragon. And we never really figured out how to fight the Wither because we never needed to, because he doesn't spawn unless you spawn him. There are a couple times that when I just want to fight the Wither for fun, so I'll make a world just to fight the Wither. And I did not want to put the Wither in Minecrafters Academy because you know what, he likes to blow stuff up. So I didn't want to destroy my perfect little, academy. So, in here, it's where we fight Mr. Warden, and yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna go press that thing over there, because I was trying to remember where the redstone was going, but because I could have sworn I put a button up there, but I guess I put a little step on thingy. But yeah, defeating the warden though, it was kind of difficult because there was hardly anywhere in there to really run and get some, a bit of space in between me and him. So there was no like hiding behind something. It was mostly just like fighting for my life at that point. You know what? I'm just gonna go up like this. Can't get up. There we go. I need to stop the thunderstorm outside. Oh, it stopped itself. Yay! Oh, no, it didn't. Oh. No, I don't want to teleport. I want to... No, it's not the weather. Alright. Whee! I'm going faster than you. PD minecart's down there. Hee hee. Now here is where I set a really fun trap for my friends and they actually fell for it. I told them to stand right there. I don't know why they fell for it, because if they really knew me, they'd know it was a trap. But yeah, I often did things to the academy that I would use to trick my friends. It was fun times. Not for them, but for me. I'm joking. We all had fun times. We all pretty much tricked each other though. I mean, they knew they had to have it coming to them. I mean, I did do a majority of the work doing Minecraft Academy. I did all of the curriculum on my own. I did do a majority of the academy. I granted, a couple of my friends did help with part of it, but I pretty much did most of it on my own. So they knew they had it coming when they weren't there to help me with the academy. They knew I was going to be up to something if I didn't have supervision. So that is pretty much Minecrafters Academy. I'm just going to do a quick little speed run over the academy. My original plan for the barrier blocks, so part of the plan was I didn't want creepers to be blowing up the beautiful campus and the ground and have a bunch of craters everywhere, but I guess I just didn't want to deal with some of my friends, because one of my friends and what I wanted to at the same time was for us to be able to fight the mobs off, because that's what we're learning how to do here. And I didn't want a barrier to be stopping the mobs from getting in there, especially when the campus is lit up so there's no mobs spawning on the campus. But I didn't really think the barrier was going to really work anyway, because it was going to take a lot of extra work to get the barrier around the whole entire campus. So I was like, you know what? We need to learn how to fight them anyway. I'm just going to have to deal with creeper craters if that does happen, or we're just going to have to immediately go and gather dirt to be able to fix those craters. Or we'll have to go to creative to fix whatever they destroyed. So that was an option. So, yeah, this is Minecrafters Academy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my rambling. And I'll probably have more videos out soon. Who knows? And hope everyone has a good day. And I will, Lunafire 15 out.